Today, we're going to talk about central bank digital currency. There's a lot of updates happening in 2025. A lot of countries going live with CBDCs. This video is going to be jam-packed with information that you need to know. So let's go ahead and get into it. I thought this clip was a great way to start off. It says, fact, 9 out of 10 central banks are exploring or developing central bank digital currencies, which would place traditional fiat currencies on blockchain or similar distributed ledger technology, enhancing transaction speed, reducing costs, and potentially increasing financial inclusion. Let's play this.
What's your view on the role and the place that an AED stablecoin can play in the global crypto ecosystem, especially in a market where 99% of stablecoins are US dollar backed?
Yeah, look, I think almost every asset is going to end up on-chain moving around, but that's not the same thing as there will be today. And so there's always an adoption curve, and it always doesn't move linearly. Almost rarely does it move linearly. And so the dollar is what has really become, I think, the breakout product on-chain for real-world assets. But I think all fiats are going to be on. It just has to happen because it's a better rail. It doesn't have to be blockchain. It's just the idea that money can move instantaneously, in real time, 24/7, moving at a very low cost. That's programmable. It's available to everyone. That's what a blockchain-based financial system is about. And that's why you need to have fiat currencies on there.
Listen, I truly believe that you're going to have all kinds of different currencies. I do think the US dollar is still used widely around the world for trade. And that's why I think you see so many stablecoins in the US dollar. I do think you're going to see a digital pound, a digital euro, and other stablecoins coming to life with value starting to build on them before you know it. Also, I wanted to take a look at like who's working on central bank digital currency. I think it's good to know kind of some of the top cryptocurrencies out here. Let's go ahead and zoom this in for myself and for maybe the people that need a little bit of zoom. So it says MTech on HBAR is changing the CBDC game. The majority of CBDC progress we've seen in via public sector by central banks, but MTech's one of the few seeing adoption for CBDCs as a private sector entity. So this sentence is really important, right? A lot of technology out here in the crypto space, but who's actually using it? Who's actually adopting it and who's actually building on it? That's really important. A large factors through building on Hedera. One other half can be attributed to the internal team of MTech itself. As we know, MTech leverages Hedera's public ledger for both their token and consensus services. Hedera token service for minting and burning of CBDCs, right? You know, if you're just now learning about CBDCs, you need to be able to mint, which is create, and be able to burn, which is burn, right? Get rid of. So, you know, let's say you bring on an asset on chain. That asset is somehow sold or needs to be taken away or burned. This is a very important mechanism to have. Hedera consensus service for the highest level of trust by the Hedera Council and CBDC transactions. If you take a look at the Hedera Council, you will see pretty much the top 40 biggest companies in the world. This infrastructure has caught the attention of central banks such as Ghana and even investment from Accenture, which is a very big partner for all of this. It says, but what most don't realize is just how deep down within the world of fintech and finance the MTech team goes. And so it talks about, just take a look at the list of key experiences: Ripple, CBDCs, MasterCard, CipherTrace, Securitize. So, I mean, MTech seems to have a pretty good system and some really, interesting people working at it. I did, just want to bring that up. It's not just Ripple that's building out here on central bank digital currency. It looks like Hedera definitely has some action going. Here's Christine Lagarde talking about the upcoming digital euro. Remember, she is the president of the European central banks. She has a lot of sway.
Another significant development on the horizon is our digital euro. We are in the preparation phase and we are expecting European legislation. Once that is done, we will decide whether we move forward with developing a digital form of cash, your digital euro. And we are also working on banknotes. We are in the process of redesigning our banknotes.
Okay.
Another significant development on the horizon.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think a digital euro is coming? Right? It's coming, guys. All right. I know there's a lot of people that think it's not, but okay, let's take a look at some of this information. All right. Philippines, wholesale CBDC in 2025. Listen, wholesale is going to come first. Central bank to bank. Very important piece. Okay. Retail is me and you. And then when we walk into a business and pay for, let's say, a drink or a burger or whatever it is, clothing, that's a person to business. That's also retail CBDC. So the Central Bank of Philippines plans to complete its wholesale digital currency pilot by the end of this year. Brazil CBDC by the end of 2024. The Central Bank of Brazil is developing a digital version of the Brazilian sovereign currency known as the Drex, based on guidelines established in May 2021. They've been working on this for years, my friends. Interesting too that the Central Bank of Brazil was having talks with Ripple, wondering what technology they're going to choose. Bank of England announces the launch of a digital pound lab. This is the next evolution of, testing a digital pound and what that'll look like. We did talk about HBAR already. I do apologize on that twice. Mexico launched CBDC by 2025. Says Mexico plans to launch a CBDC by 2025, financial inclusion, right? They're always going to sell this to you as financial inclusion. And to be honest with you, it will free up a lot of money in the banking system that will help out businesses globally, right? You have all of this money locked up in accounts all over the world because the system is old and antiquated. And that's about $27 trillion on the high end. I've seen the number as low as like 9 trillion, but I really do think it's, in the 20s. Okay. So when you can free up all of that capital, because now you can move money instantaneously, it's all digital. Well, you can help a lot more businesses and clients and customers, and you can build out new use cases in your bank to help facilitate bringing in more people and customers on board. So look, ECCU launched Dcash in March 2021, plans to launch CBDC 2021, 2023. India has a instant payment system. I don't know if they call it a CBDC though. Nigeria launched the e-Naira. I think they had some problems when they launched in Nigeria. I was actually working on something to be continued. Indonesia equals CBDC in 2024. Bank of Indonesia said in December that would be going ahead with the trials of a digital rupee. You tell me in the comments what I'm doing wrong for wholesale interbank settlement. Listen, I think this is all going to be wholesale settlement. And it's just really interesting to see that wholesale is always going to come first. In my personal opinion, I've said this for years, and I'll continue to stand by that. Swiss National Bank equals CBDC in 2024. Listen, right now you have a voice on what these CBDCs look like. You have a voice still. In a year or two, you are not going to have a voice anymore. It is just going to be whatever they decide to give you. So if you want change, right? If you want to see certain things that are inside of a CBDC or not inside of a CBDC, speak up. Okay. Kazakhstan equals retail CBDC implemented by 2025. The Digital Tenge project is a multi-phase effort that seeks to implement a retail CBDC in Kazakhstan by 2025. Love to see it. Don't know if we have any followers from Kazakhstan. Please let me know down in the comments. Norway equals CBDC in 2025. Norway to decide the future of central bank digital currency. What do you think, Norway? You think it's coming? I think it's coming. Look at Russia. Russia equals live CBDC in 2025. The global, let me zoom in here. The global CBDC project ranking based on the BIS indicators, retail CBDC, wholesale CBDC. So it looks like Russia is working on a retail, wholesale maybe not announced or to be continued. Interesting, right? It's interesting to see retail come first. Also, this person says, looking forward to other CBDC announcements from Ripple. Guys, listen, Ripple has been working with up to, I think they said 30 central banks. They already have some announced that are, some announced, some not announced, and conversations with up to 30 central banks. So it'll be interesting to see how many they can actually get on one system. But if they can get enough, right? If they can get 15, 20, 25, that would put pressure on other countries to use the same system, right? Because everybody, especially if they do trade in the same country, will want to use the same system. Here you go. 2025, the rise of CBDCs. 2025 is set to be a year of significant technological advancement, preliminary due to the full establishment of the common data standard ISO 20022. Right now, globally, the world has different bank messaging standards, and this could be quite confusing if you're sending money internationally. So if you get every bank on the same system, it'll be a lot easier because then everyone will be speaking the same language, right? It's just saying like if everybody in the world spoke English or everybody in the world spoke Chinese or British English, whatever it is, we're all going to be on the same financial banking data system. And that system, you can attach a crypto payment to it and send it along. And that's why it's important for crypto's future in this new system. In the World Economic Forum's Vision of 2025 initiative, there are clear focus on CBDC's implementation. They predict by 2025, common standards for digital currencies will allow everyone to participate in the digital economy. The alignment of ISO 20022 migration being fully implemented in 2025, along with the anticipated rise of CBDCs in the same year, is well documented. This unified standard will connect 80% of global financial systems through interoperable frameworks, enabling seamless blockchain transactions and CBDC integrations. Payment industry reports also highlight the major trends for 2020-2025 will be the emergence of CBDCs. It's noted that common data standards, most notably ISO, will likely play a part in enabling interoperability with other payment systems in 2025. So, a lot of these systems need to be able to work with each other, talk with each other, send money through each other. And that's what you're talking about with interoperability. And here's just more stuff that we've already talked about, all kinds of countries working on central bank digital currency. Also, Stellar does have a white paper on CBDCs. I believe Stellar was working with Ukraine on a CBDC, and I'm sure you're going to see other countries working with Stellar on that. And then here's a little bit of information. CBDCs for cross-border payments, World Bank breaks down Ripple and Stellar. Similar, however, Ripple will focus more on cross-border settlement between it, and Stellar will be providing low-cost cross-border payment financial services to end users, the unbanked population. And this is actually in the G20 roadmap for enhancing cross-border payments. You also have MasterCard working with central bank digital currency. It says 90% of central banks are engaged in some CBDC work. Remember, MasterCard's also working with Ripple and other partners on this. And I would imagine this system probably runs on something that Ripple is doing. That's my personal opinion. It's not fact. So just take that as, I don't. Anyways, let's continue. 2023, this is what cash looks like. 2030, this is what cash will look like. Unfortunately, it is coming. Then you have Pega Sultani, the only Pega I've ever seen. Let me play this for you.
Hi, I'm Pega Sultani, and I'm the head of payments product at Ripple. So what I find fascinating is that trillions of dollars of value move across borders every year. By 2030, it's expected to reach 300 trillion. Despite this growth, global payments are often expensive, slow, prone to error. Fortunately, at Ripple, we're changing the way value moves around the world. We use blockchain technology and digital assets to enable faster, more affordable, and more transparent payments for both our customers and their customers. Here's how it works. Let's say a business wants to send pounds from the UK to the Philippines. First, they request an FX quote on pricing and foreign exchange. The business receives the quote, approves it, and then submits payment instructions. A digital asset acts as a bridge currency moving from the UK to the Philippines. It is then converted to local currency through Ripple's global partner network. The recipient then receives the exact amount quoted to them in Philippine pesos in real time. It's that simple. And when you're ready to scale to new corridors, Ripple's global payout network provides access to key markets and currencies, including many that were traditionally difficult to reach. You can start transacting within as little as 3 weeks. And your payments will settle in seconds, not days.
Listen, in the past, it has taken 6 months, a year, 18 months to move to a new payment system. Ripple's saying they can get you set up in 3 weeks. Okay? You are a country that has maybe no real clue on what to do with CBDCs. You have a meeting with Ripple and you sit down and say, hey, we've been doing this for a decade. We have billions of dollars moving across our ledgers. We're also talking with up to 30 central banks. Here's what we can offer you. We can get you a CBDC in 3 weeks. But what do you think's going to happen, man?
The future of finance is here.
All right. Pega, if you ever watch the channel and you want to come on, interview, let me know. All right. Okay. We do need to talk about this. Let me play it first.
And tonight I'm also making another promise to protect Americans from government tyranny. As your president, I will...
Really quickly, guys, if you haven't hit like on the video and you've made it this far, you already love the channel, please hit like. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency. Do you know about that?
Immediate reaction is, I think there's some more education needed in the marketplace. I think there's a lot of discussion around a CBDC, what it is, what it isn't. Is it the government going to be spying on citizens, all this kind of thing. So I think there's education required. At the end of the day, I think the federal government, trumps state governments in this. But I think really, I don't think the citizens have anything to be concerned about. CBDC is a digital representation of fiat currency. It's likely to get implemented in pretty much every country around the world. It's coming. There are going to be some great advantages to it, great use cases that will, people will get benefit from. So I see news like that and think, okay, well, this will probably disappear when people get a bit smarter, a bit more educated about what's really going to happen.
I love this. All right. So just so you know, the James Wallace clip was recorded months ago or last year, like this clip, but it fits with what Trump said there, right? Maybe some more education is needed. Listen, I don't know if Trump will change his mind. Maybe if he is sat down and better educated on what central bank digital currency can offer the United States and maybe how much money it can save the country, maybe it will cause him to make and change his mind. Listen, as an American, I look at CBDCs and I can see the benefits, and I can also see some issues, right? And I think if we start having the conversation, right, this is not implemented yet. We can still have a voice if we speak up and call, I've said this before, call your congressperson or your senator and say, hey, what's going on with CBDCs? I'd like to see this in it. I'd not like to see that. They need to hear it from you. Only you can make change. So I better start doing it today. Of course, we're talking about how RLUSD and XRP can help the Federal Reserve with issuing a digital dollar. I think I might do a whole video on this in itself. If the US doesn't move forward with its own CBDC, are they going to need a digital dollar? And if they do need a digital dollar, I think the highest regulated digital dollar in all of the world just got, put in place. So is that interesting timing? I'll let you be the judge and I'll let you decide on that. Then I have one more thing here that I just want to go over. Connection between Ripple, MCBDC platform bridge, mBridge platform based blockchain SDR. So standard drawing rights SDRs. The mBridge CBDC platform can be maintained by liquidity pools and on the Ripple's on-demand liquidity platform using ISO 20022 as the common standard. Just more information, some of the stuff we already know, guys. So if you want to pause it here and just read it, please do. I'll come and give you some of this other information here. I'm not going to go over it or read it because some of the stuff is a little bit older. And if you're just now joining, take a look at this and see. But if you've been here a while, I love you. I'll see you next time, guys. Thank you so much for your support. The channel is growing amazingly, and it's all thanks to you and your time. I know how valuable it is. I promise never to waste it. I'll see you next time. Aloha.